Welcome to another Friday Functions video. In this Friday Functions video, I'm going to answer a question that was asked regards to my last video. So I'm going to be focusing on showing you things to help you scale applications across SharePoint so that you build lots of apps, but you can make a change in one place and all your apps will update. So we think of this in the area of reusable columns on SharePoint. And last week or the week before, I mentioned that the best way to do this is by using the term store. However, I showed you how to do it in a hub-like manner, just for those of you that don't have access to or know about the term store. But then I got so many people who were like, we want to use the term store, show us how. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how to use the term store for columns in your apps that are going to be used relatively often. So think about the mini apps you might make with the region column, or the mini apps you might make with your services names or your product names. Anytime the choices to select from are common to your entire company, and therefore they should be used broadly on SharePoint and in your apps and flows. In that case, it is really convenient to use enterprise terms. That way, when they are updated, when things are deprecated, or when things are added, no matter how many apps you made with that column, they will all update without you having to touch them. Okay, so let's talk about how I made a manage metadata column in this list. You'll see that in this little issues list, I'm actually tagging these issues based on who has to work together to resolve it. Sometimes it's a collaboration, sometimes it's just one team. And so we already have in our term store all of the list of services that are responsible for responding to issues. And so I'm going to use that term node for this column. So I'm going to go into list settings, and I'll show you really quickly. If I click on tags here, and then you'll notice that this column is a managed metadata column. And I've actually said allow multiple values. You don't have to. You can say just don't check this, and it will just let you pick one thing. And then I set it to a particular node. Again, you will not see the nodes that I see because you don't work at Microsoft. Your company has its own nodes, right? But you will set it to the node that works best for your company. And in this particular case, I set it to our services node. And if I click on the little tag icon here, it should pop open in a second. If not, I'll refresh the page and see if it will pop open after I refresh. So let's just open it up fresh again. Open it up. And sometimes we're a little slow. What can we do? And you'll see, if I'm patient, there we go. It selected the node that I selected, which is services disciplines, which has quite a few terms associated with it. Now, I had the option to default this to something, but let's try hitting that tag again so you can see that on SharePoint, you always see a tag icon when it comes to working with the term store. And what I love about this also is that's educational, because if you're doing your terms correctly, you are also defining them in the path. And so we can see what these things mean. I love educating people on corporate terms because sometimes you give them a choice list, but they don't know what that means. And so they might pick the wrong thing. But with the enterprise term store, you can educate them on what these things mean, okay? I'm not going to select anything as a default. I'm going to leave it blank and let people pick their default when they make the column. Now, when you want to make a managed metadata column, you will just click Create Column. Well, first you'll do the research to find out what column you need. But let's see. Let's try something that I probably can get a list of products. I'm going to go to the Manage Metadata here. And you can try this at home. There's no big risk. And I can go down. I didn't check allow multiple values this time, so I'll only get one. But I can go down here and search for a product. Let's search for Surface. That's a product that Microsoft has, so maybe it'll help me find the right node for our products. So I did a little search, and now it goes and it finds wherever it sees the word Surface, it gave me all of the nodes that relate to that. So it looks like there is one called Product Standards and Technology Names. So that might be the node that I'll add to maybe an inventory list where I'm having an inventory of our products, you see? And so I'm not going to be making these kind of things up from scratch because the company already decided what those things are, and I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so now I'm ready to make my app because I have all the columns I need. I put some fake data in there just so that I could see where it sits in the app. And then I did an app from right here at the top. Now, that's a lie because normally I would do create an app and that would make my 3-screen app for me. But in this particular case, I actually did it from data in Power Apps. And the reason being is because if I click create an app right here, it makes the app in the default environment. And I did not want my app in the default environment. I wanted it in an environment called Customer Demos. And so I did create from data from Customer Demos. And that way the app would end up in Customer Demos, that environment. Okay. So now here's my app. Let's look at some of the things that I did, kind of give you an idea of what is out of the box and what isn't in this app. So I made it for the phone because I wanted people to be able to do this from their phone. I liked using the terms, but I didn't really want to do a lot of drop downs, and I'll show you in a little bit why. But I'm going to go into these because that's a little bit of modification there. You'll see that my detail screen is the standard out-of-the-box detail screen. I really didn't change it at all. And my edit screen is the standard out-of-the-box edit screen with the exception of I removed the attachments, right? And I added a tag icon, okay? But that tag icon doesn't do anything yet that I'm going to show you in a minute what it does. But everything else is all out of the box. So we automatically set up a combo box for you when you use a tag column on SharePoint with multi-select. So you'll automatically be able to find things by just typing, starting to type in there, and it'll search through all the terms for you. Isn't that awesome? So that's automatically done for you. Nothing you have to do. If this was a single select on SharePoint, then I would only be able to select one. But since it's multi-select, I can select more than one, okay? And when I select more than one and I save my change, it just happens. There's nothing I have to do. You'll see it there, and you'll also see it in my, what is this thing called? Gallery. So sorry. All right. Now, another thing that I did, you see some little color variants here. I'm still working on that. But actually, I added the tags into the gallery. So I made the gallery taller than it gave me by default. And then I inserted a gallery in here to show all my tags, right? Whatever tags assigned to this item. Now, if I want to filter this by a tag, you know how in the community you can filter by a tag? Then I can just click on the tag and it will filter the gallery down to anything that has that tag. And so that was something I thought would be helpful. There's only one with the account management tag, but there's two with the support delivery tag, right? So I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to add. Let me show you another thing I added. So on this heater unit is unbalanced, right? Heater unit unbalanced. I'm going to add a third tag. Right now it looks like their support delivery tag is in there. Let me go back again. Actually, it looks like there's two. So it just might, I noticed that this page can be a little slow, but let's go ahead and add another tag. So I'm just going to click the tag icon, and you'll see that I have set up two galleries here, one that shows what's already selected and one that shows what can be selected. And sure enough, there's only one for heater unit is unbalanced. Let's check on SharePoint to see if Power Apps is right. Heater unit is unbalanced is just support delivery. So that is correct. All right, now I want to add something. So notice down here I have plus signs next to any tags that can be added and an X if I want to remove it. So let's add IT Solution Management. There you go. Solution Sales. Let's say I change my mind. I don't want Solution Sales anymore. I can just hit that X and remove it. And then I'm patching this time. So when I click that icon, it patched my change to the SharePoint list. And so if you can see right here that we've got those two, and if we go here, you'll see that that has been updated on SharePoint as well. Okay, so how did I do those few little customizations with tags? Let's kind of take a closer look. There was one thing I wanted to show you. If you get too many tags, the display form will start pushing that text out and say more. So with this doorbell isn't ringing, let's do it with the tag. I'm going to add a couple of items here. I'm going to add user experience and technology solutions. So now I have 4. I'm going to go ahead and patch that. And you'll notice that it says more here. That's not something I did. That's out of the box detail form. When you're using tags like this, it will try and put them all on one line. If it can't, it will say more. If you click on more, you'll see all of them. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out to you. That's not a big deal. That's a little plus that Power Apps did for us. Okay, so let's open this app in edit mode and kind of see if I can show you how this is happening. And I might actually include some more refreshes every time I change something, just so we make sure that it stays up to date. Okay, so let's close it in that view and let's go back to Power Apps and open it so I can show you all the things that I did. So I'm going to click Edit. And basically, again, I built the app using the app from data feature to build the app. So those 3 screens were basically all built for me. They were wonderful. I only did some edits. And so this app took, 30 minutes to build, right? Because all I did was add to what Power Apps did for me. I changed the theme. I think I changed the theme first. So basically, I just went to the home screen. I made it small enough so I could see the theme ribbon. And then I changed the theme. I like this light gray, right? So that's one thing I did. To get the tags inside here, I just basically made the template taller, right? So this is just a tall template. And I've actually inserted a gallery inside here. So this could be renamed Gallery of Tags, okay? And the items property of that gallery is this item.tags.label because that's an array. That's a list of things. And since I put this item, each row will have only the tags that have been assigned to it. Now, you remember that I clicked on 1 to filter the gallery. So if you click on support delivery, it filters the gallery down to only items with support delivery. The way I did that is when you click on support delivery, the actual label, which I just have a fill behind it, then when you select that, it sets a variable. So if I go to on select, it sets a variable called filter var to the label of that tag. And now when you look at the items property of the gallery, it basically checks to see if there is a filter for the variable for the filter, which means that you actually have clicked on one of the tags. If you have not, it will just give you all the issues created, sorted by created in descending order. But if it's not blank, if there is a filter variable, then it filters first the tags label for where that lives, right? So if that filter variable exists in the tags, then that's what it uses to filter the gallery. I thought that was pretty cool. It reminded me of the community. Like if you're in a forum and you see a tag, if you click on the tag, it filters the forum down to that tag. And so I kind of wanted to do that. So that's why I did that, just to kind of copy that idea. Now, that's all that was, no big deal. Now I didn't edit the detail form. Like I said, the detail form is completely out of the box, nothing changed. But the edit screen, all I did here was remove attachments because I didn't need them. And I added a tag icon, and the tag icon navigates to the screen called Screen Tags. And let's look at what I did on the Screen Tags. On the Screen Tag, I have, when you get into this screen, as soon as you hit it, it makes two collections, all right? It makes a collection for all of the tags that are in the gallery item that you selected. And so the top of the screen is set to that collection called Choice Update, right? So it's where all your existing tags are for that list item. And then it makes another collection called Available Tags, which contains all of the tags available for that node in the column, all right? And you can see I just used choices, issues, which is the name of the list, and then dot tags, which is the column name. And this is the column that is manage metadata. And so that made the collections I need for the galleries. So the available tags include all the properties of a term in a term store, and choice update includes all the tags that have been assigned to the list item that has been selected. Okay, then all I did was put that in the first gallery. The first gallery's item property is choice update. The second gallery's item property is available tags. So then what? So since this is a collection, I could add and remove to that collection. So in the available tags, that you'll see that I have an X icon and a plus icon, which you remember seeing. Let's just get close. That X icon right there, what it does is remove the item that you clicked on from the collection choice update, whereas the plus icon will go ahead and add or append that item to the choice update collection. To decide which should be seen, the X or the Y, all we're doing is we're checking. If you look at the visible property here for the X icon, let's look at the visible property for the X icon, because the visible property for the Y is the opposite. But basically, I'm saying this is visible if we look up in the collection above and we find this term, right? Then we can show the X, because you only want to remove things that are there. And so basically, that's all I did, guys. Really simple kind of way to kind of have some fun with enterprise terms. Do something that looks a little bit, animated in a way. Oh, the patch. Let me show you the patch. Now, here's the beauty of this patch. So normally when you're patching terms, right? Daniel Christian did a great blog on this about a year ago, long time ago, on how to patch to an enterprise term column. And so it has a GUID property. It has a WSSID property. It has all these. It has at least 5 properties that you normally would patch. However, in this case, for this screen, I didn't have to do all that because I have all the selections in a collection called Choice Update. And the tags property of the list only needs a table of tag stuff. And that table of tag stuff has everything that it needs, all of the variables. So if we go back and look at choice update, it has label, path, term, value, and WSSID. All right. So definitely you can see the things that it's turning in, and then we can just put that in our patch and off we go. I didn't need this extra return. And so that is such a small, tiny patch for patching an enterprise term column. Is that not amazing? But it's because we have it in a gallery, and so therefore it's a table. In the out-of-the-box form, there was nothing to do there because we already put all the logic behind the edit form, and so it would automatically patch. No need to change anything there. So isn't that kind of cool? I'd like to see what you do with enterprise terms. They're kind of fun things to play with from a UI perspective. Those of you that are semi-creative or enjoy creating new things, you should give this a try. I really had fun doing this. You can even like decide how many maximum number of tags you'll allow. Try playing around with the, adding things, subtracting things. I think I did show you that you do get that more button here. So just be aware that the more button it's just something you can't avoid. It just automatically is set up for you. But I like it because it does a lot of logic for you. So enjoy this. Next week I'm going on vacation, but I'll be back. I'm going to be focusing probably the next few videos on how to scale your apps so that you don't have to do so much maintenance on your apps. And I think one of the biggest advices I can give in this video and the last one is don't do things over and over and over and over again. If your company has the same products that everybody should be talking about, don't create a choice column for products. Either create a list with products in it that you point everybody to, or you use your term store, okay? Enjoy this, and I hope to talk to you soon. Happy power apping.